I want to talk about something that every pond owner goes through, even if you've built what you consider your absolute dream pond, getting the balance right. And I know how baffling it can be. One pond is crystal clear, another has string algae everywhere, another one decides to grow jelly slime on warm days. I've been dealing with some of these things myself lately, and I want to use my own ponds as real-world examples. Because the truth is, your pond is alive, and being alive means it goes through cycles. Some of it's frustrating, some of it's amazing, and some of it's just straight up fascinating once you understand what's really going on beneath the surface. So let's get into it. But if you don't already know me, my name is Kev, and my aim is to help people build and maintain their ponds without spending a fortune. So if that sounds like something that interests you, you might like to subscribe and visit my website, Ozponds.com. So I have a big pond that's about 4 years old now. It's got 2 big bog filters, a long 17-metre stream, an intake bay, some mechanical filtration, tons of plants and small native fish. It's not overstocked by any means. In theory it should be bulletproof, but this year things were different. Normally the pond gets a bit of algae at the end of winter and the beginning of spring. Then it disappears. This year it didn't disappear. In fact, it came back with a vengeance even after I removed it. The water did have a brown tint to it before I did any cleaning, even though it was pretty clear in a jar. And then what happened is as the string algae really took off, suddenly the water went really clear, like straight from the tap. And that might sound backwards, but it's actually a clue. So that brown tint in the water, it's not dirt or mud, it's dissolved organic compounds, or DOC for short. It's things like humic acids, tannins, tiny broken down bits of leaves and fish waste, proteins and carbon compounds. You can't filter it out easily, but you can balance it. And here's the cool part, string algae loves dissolved organics. It eats it, so the algae grows. It's actually polishing the water. And that's why my water went super clear when the algae took off. It was absorbing all that dissolved organics. And now here's where things get interesting. This year I did a deeper clean than usual. I removed heaps of sediment, I cleaned the filters, I thinned the plants. I disturbed a lot of biofilm, and I reckon I accidentally reset the whole system. See, sediment and biofilm aren't just muck, they're part of the pond stability. When I remove too much of it all at once, I open the door for the algae to take over until things rebuild itself. Meanwhile, on one of my other ponds, where I only lightly cleaned, and I used some sodium percarbonate to lift the top layer of muck, at the moment that has no algae at all, even though the water is much browner. Why? My theory is that in this pond, the sediment and the biofilm weren't disturbed. Everything was still competing properly. So here we have the same weather, very similar setups, 2 totally different outcomes, and that's pond ecology in a nutshell. So let's take a look at the biofilm cycle. This is the most misunderstood piece of the puzzle. Biofilms are that thin, slimy layer on rocks and roots. When it's young, it grows very fast and it's very hungry, and it processes nutrients quickly. Around 1 to 2 months old, it reaches peak efficiency and it's in perfect balance. Once it's over 2 months old, it starts to thicken, it slows down, and it can get smothered, and it becomes old biofilm. If we have animals that can consume it for us, things like shrimp, tadpoles, even certain fish, it'll stay thin. But if not, it'll build up and eventually float to the surface. So that jelly you sometimes see, it's not new algae, and it's not a pond disaster. It's that old biofilm exfoliating, making way for new stuff. And what I did is when I did my big clean, I must have wiped a lot of biofilm away and restarted the clock, which means that algae jumped on the opportunity. And I think this is part of the issue I experienced this season. Being 4 years old, I also removed plenty of plant growth. I also sort of cleaned everything all at once, and I never do that. Usually I just clean one of the bog filters at a time, I'll do some netting in the warmer weather, and a little bit of plant removal here and there. But because I'm quite lazy, I let the plants and the muck build up quite a lot over the years, and I felt like it was time to give it a good clean. But I should have known better and not done it all at once. So inside the house, I keep dirted aquariums, the father fish style or the Wolstead method, where you use a layer of soil, a layer of sand, plants and a ton of microfauna. I find these systems balance instantly. I get very little algae, barely any thick biofilm, and everything competes so nothing dominates. A pond works on exactly the same principles. The difference is ponds live outside. So instead of a stable indoor environment, ponds get temperature swings, seasonal dieback, wind, dust and pollen, rainwater dilution, wildlife inputs, leaf fall and plant explosions. You can't escape these cycles, which means even a perfectly designed pond still has the chance of algae, biofilm shedding, brown water, plant overgrowth, and sediment buildup. It's normal, it's natural, it's part of the rhythm. The really cool thing is that nature knows what it's doing, it's us that ruins things. So we look for the magic bullets. At the moment I'm trying phosphate binders again. That's the white stuff you see. The idea being it absorbs the phosphate that fuels algae growth, essentially starving it. Bacteria products aim to do the same, then there's treatments that simply kill it. But the underlying issues remain. And I'll be honest, most of the time it doesn't move the needle that much. It might help a little, it might speed up the process, but the pond always does what the pond wants to do. Sometimes we just can't seem to stand doing nothing, myself included. The things I think move the needle the most in my ponds are healthy sediments, diverse biofilm, diversity of plants, good microfauna, no overfeeding, no overstocking, and most importantly, time. The natural processes will always beat chemicals. And for me, I don't want a pond I need to work on every weekend. I don't want to clean filters constantly, and I don't want to do water changes like an aquarium. I want a pond that mostly looks after itself. So that's my whole design philosophy, and I try and teach that. Just about building ponds that embrace natural cycles instead of fighting against them. And my pond is going through a bit of a reset right now. It's annoying, it's interesting, but it's also kind of exciting to watch. And I know in a few weeks the new biofilm will mature, the plants will explode, and everything will go back to that balanced, crystal clear, low maintenance state, just like it has been for the past 4 years. So if you're seeing string algae, brown water, jelly slime, or weird spring behaviour, you're not alone, your pond isn't failing, it's just alive, and alive things have seasons. If you want to build a pond like the ones I show on this channel, I've got loads of videos that walk through the process, plus tons of articles on ozponds.com. And if you really want a deep dive into designing natural looking, low maintenance ponds, my Pond Formulas blueprint breaks down exactly how I design mine, and it's been used by heaps of people all over the world. Anyway, I hope this helped you understand what's going on in your pond and mine. Thanks for watching. See ya.